Hello, my Italian food fanatics. Today, we're going to make a pork ragu, or a pork bolognese, kind of. It's not an Italian dish, but it's more of a New York or an American Italian sort of a take on bolognese sauce. We're going to start with a little bit of fennel and some onions and, of course, our sausage, because that's the only thing we're using. A normal bolognese would use veal, would use pork and beef, not sausage at all. So this is a little bit different, but still in line with what you would find in a place like Bologna. Although, again, they wouldn't use sausage. So, without any further ado, let's get into the kitchen and let me show you how to make this pork ragu with my favorite, well, one of my favorite pastas, pappardelle. But before we go, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the bell button so you know when I release a new video. Share with your friends. Remember, sharing is caring. And leave a comment down below. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get in the kitchen and make this ragu.
All right, let's get started. Today, we are going to use a little bit of California extra virgin olive oil. We're obviously going to use some sausages. We're going to brown these off first. Then we're going to use some onion and some fresh fennel, which I think is underused today in our cooking. We'll use some garlic. We'll use some tomato paste. We'll use some red wine. We'll use a little bit of organic oregano. And of course, some 100% California organic tomatoes. And finally, to finish off our dish, we're going to use parmigiano-reggiano. And I think today we're going to use pappardelle because I really love that type of pasta. So first things first, we have to take these out of their casings and we have to chop the onion and the fennel very, very fine and hand crush our tomatoes. I'll be back when that's all done. All right, we have our tomatoes, we have our onions and fennel. I've mixed them all together and chopped them up fine. I've taken the casings off of the sausage, and of course, I've minced the garlic. Now it's time to go onto the stove. All right, I have a pan on medium heat, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil in there, and we're going to let this come up to temperature, and then we're going to add our sausage. Okay, our oil is up to temperature, and now we're going to add in our sausage. And we're going to cook that until it's brown and all of the water that's in the sausage has evaporated and it'll begin to sizzle again. A lot of people don't know, but water is incorporated into sausage meat. That's done to extend it, to homogenize the mixture, and also to keep it hydrated throughout the process of cooking as well. All right, you can see that the water has been cooked out of it. The sausage is slowly beginning to brown a little bit. It's got some color on it. And now we will add our onions and fennel. And we're going to cook this until the onions and fennel soften up a little bit and become translucent. We'll add a little bit of salt in there to help bring out the moisture. Just a little bit, because of course you know that the sausage already has some salt in it. But we're going to be adding in tomatoes and wine and other ingredients, so a little bit of salt here is not going to make a big deal. It's not a big deal. And you can see already how the salt is causing the fennel and the onions to give up their water, which is what we want. We want them to sweat off. We want that moisture to evaporate, and we want to concentrate the flavors. All right, as you can see, our onions and fennel have broken down. They're very, very soft, but they're not brown or anything like that. Now we're going to add in our garlic and our tomato paste and the oregano. So there we go. There's the garlic and the oregano, and then some tomato paste. And we're also going to add in a little bit, and I mean just a tiny little bit of red pepper flakes. That's enough. Maybe, I don't know, a quarter teaspoon or so to give it a tiny little bit of zing. That's all. And we're going to stir this around and cook out the tomato paste here for about a minute or so. We don't want to burn the garlic. All right, as you can see, the tomato paste is incorporated into the sausage mixture, and we have a little bit of fond here forming on the bottom, not too much, and that's okay, that's fine. We're now going to add in our red wine. This is a California red wine. It's very, very fruity, which I really love. It's a blend, and we are going to let this reduce down until literally all of the wine has evaporated, which is the proper technique. It's called reduce to sec or reduce to dry. And when that happens, we'll come back and add our tomatoes. Okay, you can see how the wine has literally all evaporated. And in the meantime, I've been scraping the bottom to get up any of those brown bits because that's flavor, and that's the whole reason to deglaze, is to get the fond off of the bottom and into the dish itself. Now we're going to add our tomatoes. And we're going to extend this also with a little bit of water, because this needs to simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. So let's get a little bit of water in there. I'm going to extend that. We'll bring this up to a boil, and then we'll turn it down and simmer for about an hour. Hour and 15 minutes, somewhere around there. And then we'll adjust our seasonings. All right, as you can see, this has come up to temperature. We're now going to turn it down so that it will slowly simmer away. And in about an hour, we'll come back and take a look. All right, I've placed this on the back burner, and the reason for that is because I want you to see what it looks like when it simmers properly. It is very, very slowly simmering away. You can tell these little bubbles like that. And when we have a large surface area, the way we do in this particular pan, it will evaporate a little bit more quickly than if we have it in a saucepan. So we'll be back when this is done. All right, so here we are an hour later, and you can see that the sauce has become very, very thick to the point where you can see trails going through it. It is done. Okay, we have our sauce pot with our salt and our water in there. 4 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of regular table salt. Now I'm going to add in my pasta. And pasta doesn't need copious amounts of water in order to properly cook. It just needs to be submerged. And by using a smaller volume of water, the water comes back to a boil a lot faster, though we don't need it to be at a rolling boil to cook pasta. And more starch gets incorporated into the water, so that if we ever need to use the pasta water to thin down our sauce, we have the benefit of that pasta starch in there to lend a silkiness or a velvetiness to our sauce. All right, what I've gone ahead and done is taken the sauce and put it in a sauce pot. Here it is. And I've put a few spoonfuls, large spoonfuls, kitchen spoons, into our skillet. And we're going to use the skillet to actually finish the pasta. All right, our pasta is ready. We'll take it from the water and put it in our sauce. Now you can add as much or as little sauce as you desire, obviously. It's your life. I kind of like more sauce than the average person, especially if I'm using this as a meal as opposed to just a pasta course. If it's just a pasta course, Obviously, we're going to have a lot less meat, as we just want, the pasta is the star. Of course, the pasta is the star regardless of whether this is going to be a full-on meal or if it's just going to be a pasta course. So we move this around a little bit. We added a little pasta water, as you can see. I'm going to actually add a little bit more to thin the sauce out. And of course, you have to be cognizant because there's salt in that water as well, plus there was salt in this sausage. So depending on your salt tolerance, you may want to leave it that way, or you may want to add salt. So now, let's give this a little bit of a taste, and we'll see if the pasta is ready. Yes, it's perfectly cooked. So now let's plate it up.
Hello, my Italian food fanatics. Well, you saw me plate it up. It's our pappardelle with our pork ragu. And now it's time to see if it's any good. I kept those fennel fronds. I didn't tell you in the beginning of the video, but I hope that you saw it, to act as a functional garnish. I've talked about functional garnishes in the past. There was no parsley, for example, in our sauce, but there was fennel. So using the fennel fronds to decorate the dish afterwards makes all the sense in the world, and they're delicious, and a lot of people don't know what to use them for. So there's a use for them to decorate, to act as a functional garnish. Very important. Wow. Fennel and pork go very, very well together. In fact, those fronds add a fennel flavor right off the bat. And along with that parmigiano-reggiano, and then you taste the sauce and the sausage, and it's sweet. Oh, that's so good. And it's just a tiny, tiny hint of pepper, because we didn't add much at all. But it adds a little something, something, right? A tiny, tiny hint. The pasta's perfectly cooked. You can't see what we would call a sofrito. In this case, our fennel and onions inside. It's disappeared. It's melted into the sauce, which is the way it's supposed to be. So this is theoretically a pork bolognese. You could theoretically call it that, although the Italians wouldn't. This is more of an American Italian, leaning towards Italian with regard to using the fennel, the fresh fennel, because I believe it's underused in today's kitchens. So anyway, before I forget, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the bell button so you know when I release our next video. Share with your friends. Remember, sharing is caring. And leave a comment down below if you feel inclined to do so. I want to thank you very much for following my channel, for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And I really hope that you get something out of it as well. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a great day. I wish you good health, happiness, and prosperity. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.